Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. Today I have a great project for you. But first, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you are alerted every time I drop a new video. On to the project. This video is part of a monthly card making YouTube hop hosted by BD Crafts and More. The theme for June 2026 is Summer Vibes. For more inspiration, check out the videos linked below in the description. The inspiration for my card came from this picture that I took of my daughter and son-in-law in Door County, Wisconsin. The Scenic Coast paper, recently released by Stampin Up, caught the vibe perfectly. I'm going to start off by cutting this strawberry slush cardstock at 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And now I am going to score it at 4.25 inches on the 8.5 inch side and set that aside. And then I'm going to take a piece of Night of Navy cardstock and I'm cutting it at 4 inches by 5.25 inches. And this is a piece of basic white cardstock and I am cutting that at 5.25 inches by 8 inches. This is going to be the inside card base, which might make sense after we put it together. And then I will score it at 4 inches. So now I have all of my cardstock cut. I'm going to use my bone folder to burnish the folds so that they are nice and sharp folds. For the designer series paper, I'm using this Scenic Coast paper that's 6x6. It's so gorgeous. So I'm going to add adhesive to one side of my basic white cardstock. I'm trying to get it right up against the edges so that it sticks down really nicely. And what we're going to do is we are going to layer it on the strawberry slush card base, but having it open up on the other side. And I'm putting it in so there is that slight 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So do you see how this one, the white opens up to the right while the strawberry slush opens up to the left? Now once that is attached, we are going to die cut the window. And I found that it's easiest if you put the cardstock that's on the front on top of the card base and cut them together all at once. I tried to do it the other way and I really couldn't get them to match up as well as I wanted. So I recommend cutting it this way. So put your top cardstock onto the card base and washi tape it down and then put your die on there. I am using the Sunset Coast dies with this really fun summery boat scene. And it's cutting through both layers. Make sure when you put that card base down that you have the side with the basic white, not in this section that's being cut. You can actually do this method with any kind of shape die, even if you just want to use a circle or an oval or something like that. Okay, now I'm going to adhere the Night of Navy cardstock on top of the strawberry slush card base. I'm trying to go all around the edges so that it will stick down nicely and it will look like it's part, one one whole sheet. And then you will need to adhere any of the designer pieces like the boat. Put adhesive on that too. Obviously, if you just have a circle or an oval, you won't have to do that. And now here's a tricky part, getting it to line up perfectly. But you know that since you cut them together, that you're going to get them to line up really nicely. And then I just noticed that there are little pieces on the pink side that did not pop out. So I wish I had noticed that before I had tried to adhere the Night of Navy down, but it's okay. I just am bending those back more than I really would like to. So they're coming off. And they go together so nicely. This set also comes with a really pretty lighthouse. So I could have done the lighthouse. But I thought a little boat on the water was very summer vibes. Okay, so now I'm going to take this Sunset Coast it's called Scenic Coast. The paper is called Scenic Coast. On the inside there. And here I'm cutting it. The white piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm cutting it just a little bit more, maybe 1/8 of an inch all the way around. You can cut it 4 inches by 5 1/4 if you want to, but I cut it a little bit smaller so you could see the white edge around it. And I'm really trying to take my time to fussy cut the paper so that that sunset is showing on the other side of the boat. And I adhere it down. Look at that paper. It's got that, like, it's not foil. It's like an iridescent shimmer. But see now how that sunset is showing right on the other side of the boat. I really love it. And I'm going to stamp this wherever this note finds you. I'll put that on the outside. And then on the inside, I think it says, I hope it finds you happy. And I will use Night of Navy for the inside. That will match the Night of Navy cardstock on the outside. And I'm just putting it right there at the center, near the top. Now on the outside, I'm going to use a Versamark and stamp the sentiment on. My anti-static pouch is empty, so I would recommend rubbing the anti-static pouch on here first, but I didn't have any. And you'll see that caused a little bit of an issue. I had to spend some time wiping away some of the embossing powder. So I didn't do it, but put the anti-static pouch down first. And here I'm just using white embossing powder. Give it a good rub. My embossing powder is, not my embossing powder, but my Versamark is a little bit old, so I had to dump the embossing powder on twice to make sure it was totally covered. And here I'm just taking a little bit of a brush, paintbrush like, and getting off as much of the embossing powder as I can, the loose embossing powder. If you had used an anti-static pouch, it obviously won't do this. You won't need to do this, or at least as much. This is on my list, definitely, to purchase ASAP. But, truthfully, I don't emboss very much. I should do it more. Okay, so I did pour that on top of a sheet of paper so that I could just pour the excess right back into the jar. Okay, now I'm going to use my heat gun and heat this up so that the embossing powder melts. This is one of my favorite things about embossing, is watching it change. I do know that a lot of people say embossing powder really has gotten them into card making. It's because it's so satisfying. Okay, there you could start to see it's starting to change. I am trying to heat from the front and the back. And I am going through those 2 layers if I'm going from the back, so it is taking a little bit of time. I'm trying to be patient. And there, I think I've got it all. Okay, now we're almost done. Look at that. You open it up, and then you open it up again. So it's kind of interactive, kind of a see-through peekaboo style. And then I've decided that I think I'm going to use some of these little seagulls. This is part of the die set, and I had these from another project that I didn't use. So I'm going to adhere one of those down. I think it adds something to the scene on the front, but it also makes the scene on the inside look more like a scene and not just a piece of paper. Beautiful paper, but so let's close this up and try and place the bird. I'm trying to place it right in that sort of golden cloud there so that you really can see it. So beautiful. And then I'm going to finish the card front with some adhesive sequins. This set does come with some, they're called Sunset Sparkle sequins. You get 50 each of 4 colors. I did not get those, but I have these sequins that I think match pretty well. And so there we have it. Look how beautiful this is. I love that iridescent shine on the paper. And it's so fun and interactive. I have another couple samples. This is showing you the lighthouse. This is just a regular card front. And this one, I focus more on the stamp set. And I'm using the same sentiment there, but those are all stamped images. And then this one, I use the paper and the dies. But this one, actually, I'm having a special. If you spend $75 on my website, I will send you the supplies to make that card for free. So a free card kit if you spend $75 on my website. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the project. You can purchase any of the products I used in the video at my website, thecraftychemist.stampinup.net. I have a Facebook business page, Crafty Chemist Designs, where I go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. I also have a Facebook VIP group called The Crafty Chemist Presents Stampin' Up, where you can share your artwork and ask questions and have a good time. You can also find me at Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Crafty Chemist Designs. My blog is periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com.